à tous, c'est Madame Sherman ici, and today we are going to be continuing with our lesson, focusing on the GCSE French listening exam, looking at those pesky traps that are put in the exam and how to avoid them. So what we're going to start by doing is recapping on our learning from part 1. So, looks a little bit overwhelming. I'm sorry, there's so much on the screen. However, a lot of it is to help you complete the exercise. So, what I would like you to do is firstly complete the part 1 vocab retrieval exercise, which is on the left-hand side of your screen. All you have to do is translate as many of those 18 words and phrases that we came across in part 1 as possible. What I've done to help you is I've put it into context, because the thing is, I'm not that much of a fan of vocabulary tests, etc. Because you're always going to see a word in context, just to help you work out what it means. So hopefully those sentences should clarify things for you a little bit. So I'm going to give you, well, you can take as long as you like to do this. All you have to do is pause me, and then we will go through the answers afterwards. Okay, hopefully you've had a good go at that. Let's go through all of these phrases and words and see what they mean in English. So échouer, the example is j'ai échoué mon examen. J'ai échoué mon examen means I failed my exam, so échouer is to fail. There's also another word for to fail, which you might want to write down, which is rater. Oh, just giving you the answer. See if I can write it down. So R-A-T-E-R is another word for to fail that you might come across. Alors, numéro 2, malgré. So 2020 était une bonne année malgré le coronavirus. So that means 2020 was a good year despite coronavirus. Okay, the next one. Je ne mange jamais de fast food, and we need to work out what jamais means. And I put a little hint here. J'ai menti, I lied. So I never eat fast food. That means, well done if you got that one. Yes, j'ai menti, I lied. Literally, hier, need to stop talking in franglais. Decide whether you want to speak in English or French. Hier, j'ai mangé un McDo pour mon déjeuner. Yesterday, I ate McDonald's for my lunch. Mais c'était délicieux, mais pas bon pour la santé. It's delicious, but not good for my health. Right, number 4. Il a tort. So this was to do with agreeing or disagreeing with someone. Il pense que le français est nul, mais il a tort. He thinks French is rubbish, but he is wrong. There you go. Or they say in French, he has wrong. Number 5, serait. Key to understanding a sentence. Si elle était plus patiente, elle serait la prof parfaite. There needs to be an E on the end there. Ooh la la. Oh dear, Miss Sharman. Anyway, it means would be. So in English, we have 2 words for that conditional tense, and in French, they just have 1. Let me add an E on the end. There we go. Okay, numéro 6, la retenue. J'ai une retenue demain après le collège. So, what might you have after school that makes you sad? A detention. You're held back after school. Sauf. Once again, another key word which can really change the meaning of a sentence. J'adore tous les membres de One Direction, sauf Liam. So, I'm trolling a little bit here, but it says, I love all the members of One Direction except Liam. Sorry, Liam, I love you. Okay, numéro 8, le tremblement de terre. Il y avait un tremblement de terre en Nouvelle-Zélande en 2011. You should have got that one. Earthquake. Tremblement is like the quaking of the earth. Numéro 9, les inondations. Quand il pleut beaucoup, il y a souvent des inondations. So when it rains a lot, there are often floods. 10. Le patron, like the patron, we say in English. We do use that word. Le patron de l'entreprise est très autoritaire. Boss, the boss of the business is very authoritative. 11. Empêcher. Le confinement, so lockdown or isolation, empêche la propagation du coronavirus. So, lockdown thinks the spread of coronavirus. Prevent. So, empêcher is to prevent. 12. Éviter, another word that is used a lot in listening exams. Il faut éviter, so it's often used in instructions like this one, de manger trop de bonbons. So you should, something eating too many sweets. Avoid, to avoid. Numéro 13, augmenter. Remember we talked about the word augmentation that we use in English. So le prix des maisons augmente chaque année. The price of houses, something every year. Increases, so it's to increase. 14. Auparavant, quand j'étais enfant, j'allais à l'école à pied. So something, when I was a child, I used to go to school by foot. So I used to walk to school. It means before. It's a posh way of saying before. Before, when I was a child, I used to go to school by foot. 15. La circulation. Il y a trop de voitures S en ville, ce qui cause la circulation. So there are too many cars in town, which causes traffic. Le loyer. Le loyer moyen des maisons dans la ville est 700. And there should be a euro sign after this. I really didn't check this through. Always check your work. So the average something of houses in the town is 700 euros per month. Rent. L'entretien. Pour avoir un emploi, il faut d'abord faire un entretien. So to get a job, you must first of all do an interview. And la licence, on va à l'université pour obtenir une licence. One goes to university to get a degree. I wouldn't have expected you to remember all of those. But well done if you did get, around 10 or more. That's good. Okay, we're now going to have a look at the synonym retrieval exercise from part 1. So a synonym, just as a reminder, is a word that means the same thing as another word, but it's just spelled differently. So, for example, often and frequently are both synonyms in English. They can be interchanged and used in the place of one another. So I've put down 7 words that weren't necessarily in the in part 1, but so a few of them were. But these words by the side, their synonyms, were mentioned in the recordings. You have to basically complete the translation. So le collège, I've written the word, the synonym for collège here, but it's missing its vowels. So you have to fill in the vowels to come up with the synonym for that word, which we came across and spoke about in the first part of this lesson. Goodness, I overcomplicated that. Right, 3, 2, 1, go. Right, hopefully you've had a chance to do that. Now let's have a look at the answers. So, le collège, l'établissement, the establishment. You can, replace many words with establishment in French. Normalement, another word for normally, d'habitude. Sérieux, grave, something that's really serious. You can also say grave. I'll write that down. Grave. That you can say important. So while important does mean important, in some scenarios it also means serious. So le patron, which meant boss. Can you remember the synonym, the other word for boss? Gérant. And there are others as well. Number 5, l'employé, so the employee, the staff member, the worker. Salarié. Avant, well, we've come across a synonym for avant in our first exercise that we've just completed, auparavant. And maintenant, which means now, a synonym would be à présent. Let's check. Eh oui. So well done if you got those correct. Okay, so we're now going to do a few more listening exercises. The paper is split, the listening paper split into part A and part B. In part A, you have to answer the questions in English, and that makes up the majority of the paper. So this is one of the final questions we'll be doing, which we have to answer in English, and we have to complete the sentences. So you're about to hear some advertisements. Well, an advertisement. And you have to fill in the gaps. So an advertisement announces that schools go back in 2 days. Customers are told that the shop will be open on which day, from 9 a.m. until which time?
La rentrée des écoles, c'est dans 2 jours. Exceptionnellement, nous sommes ouverts dimanche de 9h à 17h.
Okay, so it's really important that you make sure that you've revised your days of the week, your months, your numbers, your times, because there will be at least one question on that in the listening exam. So, an advertisement announces that schools go back in 2 days. Customers are told the shop will be open on, I'll let you listen to it once more.
La rentrée des écoles, c'est dans 2 jours. Exceptionnellement, nous sommes ouverts dimanche de 9h à 17h. La rentrée des écoles, c'est dans 2 jours.
Oh.
Exceptionnellement.
Okay, so now listen again with the transcript.
La rentrée des écoles, c'est dans 2 jours. Exceptionnellement, nous sommes ouverts dimanche de 9h à 17h.
Okay, so the answer then is the shop will be open on dimanche, which is Sunday. Sorry about my writing there. From 9 a.m. until 17h. So in France they use the 24-hour clock. So 17 is 17. So 17 hours or 17 o'clock is 5 p.m. So if you don't know the 24-hour clock, I would go and revise that. You will notice actually that there are fewer tricks and traps in these fill gap questions, because obviously you have to concentrate more, you have to come up with your own answers, so they don't add the traps in as much. So let's have a listen to the next one.
Le prix des trousses ne cesse de diminuer chaque jour, mais dépêchez-vous parce que les soldes finiront lundi.
And again.
Le prix des trousses ne cesse de diminuer chaque jour, mais dépêchez-vous parce que les soldes finiront lundi.
Okay. And listen again with the transcript.
Le prix des trousses ne cesse de diminuer chaque jour, mais dépêchez-vous parce que les soldes finiront lundi.
So, customers are told every day that the cost of... So we know that it's likely to be a shop that sells stationery and the likes, because it's capitalising on the return to school. So le prix des trousses. Trousse is our keyword here, and we're casting our mind all the way back to our Year 7 lesson on stationery and classroom items. Pencil cases. So here, the customers are told that every day the cost of pencil cases I'm not going to write the whole thing because it's going to take too long, is, so ne cesse de diminuer. Ne cesse de means isn't stopping. So it's continuing to, in other words. So it's continuing to diminuer. So diminuer is the opposite of augmenter, and it's a key term which is referred to quite frequently in listening and reading exams. So diminuer looks like diminish, which is similar to decrease. So customers are told that every day the cost of pencil cases is decreasing. You should put decreasing here. I'm not going to write it because it'll take too long. But that the something will finish on Monday. So they say here, mais dépêchez-vous, but hurry up, parce que les soldes finiront lundi. So we know that this is the key word, okay, because we've got will finish on Monday. Solde, have a guess, it means sales. So here you need to write sales, but the sales will finish on Monday. Okay, let's look at the last one. Customers were informed of a new cafe on something where they can get a something drink.
Vous avez soif? Visitez notre nouveau café au premier étage pour une boisson offerte.
And again.
Vous avez soif? Visitez notre nouveau café au premier étage pour une boisson offerte.
And while reading the transcript.
Vous avez soif? Visitez notre nouveau café au premier étage pour une boisson offerte.
So, customers are informed of a new cafe on, so un nouveau café au premier étage. So remember from the house and home module, premier étage means the first floor. So I'll just put first F. Pour une boisson offerte. So boisson means drink, and then offert, an offered drink, in other words, a free drink. Now, thinking about your synonyms, I think it might be useful for you to make a synonym list in your books as well that you can add to. Offert can mean free. What's another word for free? Gratuit. 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 Make a note of that somewhere. Right. So, our next question, vous entendez vos amis français parler des métiers. So you hear your French friends talking about careers. So, you're going to hear different people talking about a career. Your task isn't to pick out the career, but it's to decide whether their opinion is positif, négatif, or positif et négatif. These questions appear on most of the papers that I've seen, and you'll notice that the questions are now in French. So this is a question that appears on part B of the paper. So I actually find these questions are easier than the English ones. Oop. Hang on a second, I'm just trying to play. It's not working. Okay, I finally think I've got it to work. So that shouldn't be on the screen, but it's already on the screen, so we're just going to go with it. Listen and read at the same time.
Franchement, être médecin ne me dit rien du tout. J'ai horreur du sang et les heures sont trop longues.
And I'll repeat it again.
Franchement, être médecin ne me dit rien du tout. J'ai horreur du sang et les heures sont trop longues.
Okay, so let's just go through the answer to that. So is it positive, negative, or positive and negative? So the key here is to be listening out for opinion phrases, and they're not going to use j'adore and je déteste because that would be too easy. They might, but it would be very easy, so it's unlikely. This is a opinion phrase that you might want to write down. Ne me dis rien du tout. I think we went we came across this in part 1. It means says nothing to me at all. Okay, so frankly, being a doctor doesn't speak to me at all. It's, I don't want to do it. J'ai horreur du sang. J'ai horreur de is another negative phrase. So what I would be doing now is just, I'd be making a list of negative phrases to listen out for these questions, such as ne me dis rien du tout and j'ai horreur de. And you could also use these in your writings as well to improve them and to create a greater variety of vocabulary. Include, not create. So, j'ai horreur du sang et les heures sont trop longues. So the hours are too long. And if you hear trop, it's quite likely to be negative because it's too something. It's too boring. It's too annoying. It's too long. So, I mean, it's negative, isn't it? Frankly, being a doctor doesn't speak to me at all. I hate blood and the hours are too long. Well done if you got that. Right, the next one. Oh, so the next one, someone else is going to be talking about being a doctor now.
Pour moi, le salaire est très attirant. Pourtant, il faut travailler extrêmement dur et je suis trop paresseuse pour ça.
And listen again.
Pour moi, le salaire est très attirant. Pourtant, il faut travailler extrêmement dur et je suis trop paresseuse pour ça.
Okay, and now we're going to listen again with the transcript.
Pour moi, le salaire est très attirant. Pourtant, il faut travailler extrêmement dur et je suis trop paresseuse pour ça.
Okay, you might have noticed that she said extrêmement, not très. So there's a mistake there. So, pour moi, le salaire est très attirant. For me, the salary is very attractive. So what I'll be doing now is making a list of positive words, to look out for that would suggest someone thinks positively about something. So, attirant. The salary is very attractive. Pourtant, now this is key. For positive and negative opinions, you need to be listening out for that connective. And even if you don't understand anything else that's been said, they use a connective, the chances are they've said something positive and then they're going to say something negative, or vice versa. So we don't really even have to understand the rest of it. We know it's going to be positive and negative. So well done if you got that. But let's just go through what this means. So, il faut travailler très dur et je suis trop paresseuse pour ça is you must work very hard and I'm too lazy for that. Okay, the next one. This time people are going. Okay, this time they're going to be talking about being a sales assistant or working in retail.
Ah oui, c'est mon rêve de travailler en tant que vendeuse. J'ai fait mon stage dans un magasin et ça m'a beaucoup plu. Je suis quelqu'un de très sociable et donc j'apprécie le contact avec le public. De plus, la mode, c'est ma passion.
Okay, and we'll play that again.
Ah oui, c'est mon rêve de travailler en tant que vendeuse. J'ai fait mon stage dans un magasin et ça m'a beaucoup plu. Je suis quelqu'un de très sociable et donc j'apprécie le contact avec le public. De plus, la mode, c'est ma passion.
Okay, and while reading it.
Ah oui, c'est mon rêve de travailler en tant que vendeuse. J'ai fait mon stage dans un magasin et ça m'a beaucoup plu. Je suis quelqu'un de très sociable et donc j'apprécie le contact avec le public. De plus, la mode, c'est ma passion.
Okay, what do we think? Positive, negative? So they have used a connective, but they haven't used a connective which might, a contrasting connective. They've used de plus, which means as well, or also, or in addition. So we know it's going to probably be either wholly negative or wholly positive. So yes, it is my dream, mon rêve. So once again, positive opinions, mon rêve. Okay. De travailler en tant que means as a sales assistant. J'ai fait mon stage. I did my keyword here for this topic that I'm not sure if I've taught my class. Stage does not mean stage, it means work experience. So make a note of that. So I did my work experience in a shop et ça m'a beaucoup plu. This is another positive opinion. It's the past tense of ça me plaît, which is it pleases me. So it pleased me. So I did my work experience in a shop and it really pleased me a lot. Je suis quelqu'un de très sociable. I'm someone who is very sociable and so I appreciate the contact with the public. In addition, la mode, fashion, is my passion. Shame it doesn't rhyme in French like it does in English, but voila, voila. So that is positive. And the next person. Okay. Once again, they're talking about being a sales assistant.
Il y a ceux qui disent que travailler dans un magasin, c'est facile. Avant mon stage, j'étais d'accord avec eux, mais maintenant, je sais qu'ils ont tort. Les clients peuvent être impolis. Le salaire était bien avant, mais plus maintenant.
Okay, and again?
Il y a ceux qui disent que travailler dans un magasin, c'est facile. Avant mon stage, j'étais d'accord avec eux, mais maintenant, je sais qu'ils ont tort. Les clients peuvent être impolis. Le salaire était bien avant, mais plus maintenant.
Okay, and let's do it again with the transcript.
Il y a ceux qui disent que travailler dans un magasin, c'est facile. Avant mon stage, j'étais d'accord avec eux, mais maintenant, je sais qu'ils ont tort. Les clients peuvent être impolis. Le salaire était bien avant, mais plus maintenant.
Okay. Il y a ceux qui disent que this pesky little phrase came up in the first part, didn't it? There are those who say that. So we know that what she's about to say isn't necessarily her opinion, but it's other people's opinion. So she's saying other people say that working in a shop, c'est facile, is easy. So you might have just heard that word facile, thought, okay, that means easy, it must be positive. However, she's not saying she finds it easy, she's saying some people find it easy. Now, avant, which means before, but avant mon stage, which as we just saw means work experience, j'étais d'accord avec eux. So once again, this is a phrase which shows agreement. Je suis d'accord is I agree with. So j'étais d'accord is I agreed with. Make sure you write that down. Je suis d'accord, I agree with. I am of agreement. It literally means. I agreed with them. But now, mais maintenant, so she's about to say her opinion now. Je sais qu'ils ont tort. I know that they are. Can we remember what this means? Well done. It means wrong. Les clients peuvent être impolis. Customers can be rude. Le salaire était bien avant. So once again, it's mentioning something positive. It's saying bien, but it's not talking about now. It's saying it was good, but plus maintenant, not anymore, not now. So be wary of that in these positive and negative questions, they might add their past opinions, which they don't have now. And they might also add in other people's opinions. So that is something to watch out for. Okay, the final question then is also part of part B. And it's a finish the sentence activity, but this time in French. So we've got 4 sentences and you need to complete these sentences while listening to the recording. And what I would do before actually listening, so in your time that you have at the beginning to read through the paper, I would translate these. So, quand elle était plus jeune, elle voulait être, when she was younger, she wanted to be? So what did she want to be when she was younger? And what you need to be doing is you need to be listening out for synonyms. So, you know, elle voulait is she wanted to, but, you know, what could be a synonym for that? You know, it could be talking about her dreams, son rêve. It could be talking about, you know, j'ai l'intention de, I have the intention of. You might not necessarily hear, you know, je voulais or elle voulait. Malheureusement, unfortunately, elle n'a pas réussi, c'est. So, réussi means to succeed. So to not succeed, you might be listening for the word for fail. And we know those words now. Pour elle, l'important, c'était. For her, the important thing was. So we might be listening for another word for important. And pour améliorer ses résultats, elle a pris la décision de. So in order to improve, keyword there, which we saw last time, her results, she has taken the decision to what? So I actually find this question one of the easiest types of questions because you are just listening out for one word and they don't really try and trick you much here.
À l'âge de 14 ans, mon rêve c'était de devenir avocate.
Okay, so that should give you the answer to the first question. I'll just rewind and repeat that.
À l'âge de 14 ans, mon rêve c'était de devenir avocate. Mais malheureusement, j'ai échoué mes examens.
Okay, so I'll repeat that second answer.
Mon rêve c'était de devenir avocate.
This is the second one.
Mais malheureusement, j'ai échoué mes examens car.
Okay, why did she? So we're now looking at the third one.
Pour moi, ce qui comptait le plus au collège, c'était mes copains.
So I'll rewind that bit.
Moi, ce qui comptait le plus au collège, c'était mes copains.
And the final one.
Donc, j'ai décidé de redoubler pour améliorer mes résultats.
So what did she take the decision to do? She decided to.
De redoubler pour améliorer mes résultats.
Okay, so the key thing here is that the questions are in the third person, she, but she is talking in the first person. So you've got that element of and also obviously we've got these synonyms here that you need to be looking out for. You might not actually know what the word means that she says, but you might be able to listen to it and work out how it's spelled. Right, let's have a look at the transcript and we'll play that through again.
À l'âge de 14 ans, mon rêve c'était de devenir avocate. Mais malheureusement, j'ai échoué mes examens car pour moi, ce qui comptait le plus au collège, c'était mes copains. Donc, j'ai décidé de redoubler pour améliorer mes résultats.
Okay, so the first one, quand elle était plus jeune, elle voulait être. When she was younger, she wanted to be. So if we read through here, it says, at the age of 14 years, my dream was to become. Don't want that there, it's not letting me delete it. Hang on. Oh, it's not letting me delete it. Oh well. Avocate. My class, you'll know what this means. It means avocado, but her dream wasn't to become an avocado, it was to become a lawyer. So it means avocado and lawyer. So she wanted to be a lawyer. So avocate. So let's look at the second one. Malheureusement, elle n'a pas réussi. So she didn't succeed. In other words, elle a échoué. She failed. So mais malheureusement, j'ai échoué mes examens. So here we've got say, so may has been changed to say, but they might actually want you to do that to show your grammatical awareness. But it's been done here for you, which is great. So it says examen. Okay, you don't have to change the word and put a synonym. You can literally just copy the word straight down. Pour elle, l'important c'était, so why did she fail her exams? Because for me, ce qui comptait le plus, so this is the synonym for l'important, the important thing. What counted the most at school? It was my friends. So you wouldn't get the mark if you put pour elle, l'important c'était mes amis, because that would be saying, mes copains, sorry, because that would be saying for her, the important thing was my friends. So we need to change mes to the word for her, plural, which we've just seen here. So c'est, and then you can put copain or you could put ami, because ami is a synonym for copain. Ah, okay, and the final one. Pour améliorer ses résultats, elle a pris la décision de. So in order to improve her results, she took the decision to. So let's look at that final sentence. Donc, j'ai décidé, so décidé means decided, de redoubler pour améliorer mes résultats. So they've changed the word order a bit there. They've put, I decided to something in order to improve my results. So the word that it's got to be is redoubler, which you might not understand, but you could write down how you think it is spelt. And what it means to redoubler is to retake the year. So write down that word on your vocab list if you didn't know it. In France, it's quite common to retake the year if you don't get la moyenne, which is the average grade. Yeah, so she took the decision to retake the year. Pour améliorer ses résultats, elle a pris la décision de redoubler. So well done if you got any of those, because they were really quite difficult. And that's it. We've come to the end of part 2 to our listening skills video. I really hope that this has been useful for you. The key here is to know all of those little words like sans, sauf, malgré, which can really change the meaning of a sentence. And we've gone through a lot of those in these 2 videos. So revise all of that. Any new vocab you've come across, make yourself flashcards, whether that's online or physical flashcards. Hopefully I've also taught you to watch out for frequency phrase discrepancies between the question and the recording, tense discrepancies, make sure you're listening out for the right tense. Yeah. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for your time, and bonne chance, good luck with your exam.